Let's register on the electoral list. This is a message from Equinoxe Television.
Hi there to all of you viewers of Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for being with us on this other edition of the news. I'm major stories this evening. Scandal in Douala as a man sexually abuses his own biological children, with the youngest being a boy child of less than 2 years old. The grandmother of the assaulted kids said justice must be done, but the perpetrator says he has money to buy his way through his abominable action. We will be telling you more on what is happening here in Douala in this news edition. Plus, persons living with albinism say no to stigmatization. Albinism is not a disability. They are talented, intelligent, and can do whatever they set their minds on. These words were echoed by some of them as Cameroon today observes the World Day of people living with albinism. The only setback they have is related to taking care of their health, especially their skin and their sight. We spoke with some albinos who told us more about their challenges, and we'll be telling you more in this news edition. Viewers, those are our lead stories. Details and more when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We begin with this abomination happening in the city of Douala, a scandal in Douala where a man sexually is abusing his own biological children, with the youngest of them being a boy of less than 2 years old. The grandmother of those assaulted children say she wants justice to take its course, but the perpetrator says he is rich, he has money to buy his way through the abominable action. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more about what is happening.
A grandmother expressing frustration, anger and bitterness as she speaks out about the repeated sexual abuse of her 6 grandchildren, allegedly by their biological father, Lawrence, a Nigerian national. While revealing the shocking scandal, the grandmother says that the abuse was first discovered 2 years ago, but was initially covered up within the family.
Who is doing this to you? It's my daddy.
The incident that occurred in Douala, precisely at the newborn neighborhood, has left many in shock.
La maman m'a appelé. J'ai dit, apprends les...
I live in Mbanga, and my daughter asked me to come to her house. She later informed me that she noticed something strange on her children's private part. After questioning the kids, they claimed their dad is to be blamed. So we called a family meeting and we advised not to report the case. The children aged between 1 year old to 14 years old were confirmed to have been molested after undergoing medical examination at the Douala Military Hospital. I and my daughter have been receiving threats. Many are even asking my daughter that if her husband is arrested, who will pay their house rent and the children's school fee? We may be poor, but the life of my grandchildren is what matters to me. I really need the government to help me. Despite the fact that the accused is in police custody, the family claims to be under pressure and have constantly been receiving threats.
Poor family, you can do what? Nothing. I will give any kind of money they need so that they will release me. I will be free.
All attempts to contact the children's mother proved unsuccessful. Meantime, the grandmother has filed a complaint at the Wuri High Court seeking justice for her grandchildren.
Sad indeed, justice in Cameroon is not for the rich, and hopefully justice takes its course. And now we talk something else. The divisional officer of Mbanga has urged the newly installed vigilante committee members of quarters 2A and B to work closely with security forces and also the local population. Careful Christian also used the opportunity to sensitize the inhabitants of quarter 2A and B on the respect of the clean day in the subdivision. Samanji Kankiber has more.
Gathered at the residence of the quarter heads are inhabitants of quarter 2A and B of Mbanga in the Mongo division. The security of each inhabitant is the reason that brought them and the divisional officer together. With petty stealing happening in the neighborhood, the divisional officer came to install the vigilante committee of the two neighborhoods. The installation of the vigilante committee members to many came as a sigh of relief. To the new members of the vigilante committee, the chef told them, "We all have to work together. The young volunteers who have decided to join the vigilante committee should always be available to help the forces of law and order with information for the neighborhood to keep growing." Apart from the installation of the vigilante committee, the divisional officer of Mbanga used his visit to quarter 2A and B to sensitize the inhabitants of the need to respect the Keep Clean campaign. For some time now, the exercise has been abandoned. We have restarted the cleanup campaign which we had left for several months now. With the visit of the divisional officer, we are going to be active every Keep Mbanga Clean Day. We are happy to see the divisional officer in our midst. We had some misunderstandings, but after his exchange with us, we are sure that many things will change. The step taken by the divisional officer of Mbanga to encourage his subjects to clean their localities falls in line with the hope of seeing Mbanga winning the cleanest subdivision award in the national territory.
And now we talk health. Today, Cameroon joins other countries to observe the World Albinism Day. And today, persons living with albinism say no to stigmatization. They are talented, intelligent, and can do whatever they set their minds on. As Cameroon joins the world over to commemorate the World Albinism Day, in Douala, there was a sensitization campaign on how to take care of their health. Mala Glory has more. We are talking about the World Albinism Day, which is being commemorated today. Those living with albinism say albinism is not a disability. They are capable of doing things, whatever they put their minds on. The only setback can be with their health, especially their eyesight and also their skin care. Mala Glory with details.
Persons with albinism face unique challenges, especially with their skin and eyes. They remain at extreme risk of developing skin cancer due to the fact that their skin is defenseless against harmful effects of the ultraviolet radiation.
They don't have something we can call melanin in the skin, and it can be easier for them to develop cancer. Very dry skin, like skin that can be aging more quickly.
They have also blurred vision even when they have glasses.
At the Douala General Hospital, on the occasion of the National Albinism Day, persons living with albinism had the opportunity to be part of a free screening campaign organized by the hospital administration to create awareness on the importance of a proper skin routine and frequent eye checkups.
Digestion. The second one is screening about skin disease, about ocular disease for that person.
Early as child, they must consult an ophthalmologist. At 6 months old, we can prescribe glasses to an albinos child.
And how to prevent skin infection and skin cancer, dermatologists advise that albinos should visit the hospital every year.
They have to protect the skin with the clothes, and if they use the sunscreen, they have to apply it many times a day, and in case of anything, they have to come back to see us.
It is also a step to boost their confidence as well as reduce the stereotypes, discrimination, and promote acceptance.
Well, my biggest fight is that of discrimination and stigmatization.
Studies have revealed that most people living with albinism die of skin cancer between the ages of 30 and 40, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. The International Albinism Day 2025 is therefore observed under the theme Demanding Our Rights, Protect Our Skin, Preserve Our Lives.
In other news, the national and international cycling enthusiasts are still in shock in Cameroon following the invalidation of the 7th lap of the Cameroon International Cycling Tour because of the bad state of roads in Douala. A surprising incident that dishonors Cameroon and exposes the deficiency of the road infrastructural system in the country. And on a defensive, the mayor of the city of Douala says organizers of the race informed him less than 24 hours to the race. For me, I'm from Sanda with more.
Here is an example of the deplorable state of the urban road network in the city of Douala that caused the invalidation of the 7th lap of the Cameroon International Cycling Tour, a situation that has left national and international cycling enthusiasts in shock, damaging the image of Cameroon.
Mais les organisateurs ont arrêté un tracé.
Reacting to the incident, the mayor of the city of Douala, #1 official responsible for the road network of the city, says organizers of the race informed him less than 24 hours to the race, and that could not permit him to fix a convenient city itinerary for the 7th lap. Roger Mbassadine says if the organizers want the city of Douala to be part of the race, the city council under his mandate should be informed at least 3 weeks to the D-Day. At least 6 major road construction projects are currently ongoing in the city, among which are that of Pont Bonabasem, Sandaga, Bonangang, Lendi and Lokbesu, with some being rehabilitated. The mayor of the city says that he is satisfied with the pace of work and apologizes to Douala city dwellers for the inconveniences encountered. While deviation stretches are used with enormous inconveniences, circulation in some areas is completely blocked. City officials say that they plan to engage work on drainage patterns to minimize recurrent floods across Douala. It remains curious why city roads should be allowed to degrade for multiple road projects to be launched at a single moment.
In politics, Honorable Joshua Osei, national president of the Social Democratic Front, the SDF party, unfolded a revolutionary vision to massively attract Cameroonian youth during a strategic meeting that took place in Garwa in the north region of the country. The political initiative, which is traditional to the SDF, confirms the crucial importance of the young electorate for the democratic change in 2025. Cedric Chakutio reports.
In the celebration of their 35th anniversary, the Social Democratic Front was in Mara, north region of the country. The national president of the party, Joshua Osei, met with the youth of the area.
It is our duty, and we found out that it was very important for us to go around the country to tell our story, because most people were born after that and they do not understand where we are coming from and all what we have achieved for them. People do not realize that most of the liberties they enjoy today came from the fact that this party has been fighting for those liberties to exist, and they actually came to fruition. So it is important for us to tell our story. It's important for Cameroonians to understand.
The meeting is part of his national tour aimed at engaging with the population on the challenges of the upcoming presidential election. He also took the opportunity to highlight opportunities available for them.
We cannot complain if we do not participate. The SDF opened the road for multi-party politics, for democracy to come into this country, for people to have the right to choose their leadership. And if 35 years later they're not participating, those people died in vain. And actually they have no right to complain if things do not go the way they want, because if Cameroonians come out in their mass and vote, change will happen.
The youth present also on their side expressed their concerns regarding the upcoming presidential elections.
And now let's come back to the cycling tour, which was cancelled in Douala because of the bad state of the road, and following that cancellation of the 7th phase of the 2025 Cameroon International Cycling Tour in Douala. Due to the bad state of the roads, our reporter Innocent Aze and also our technicians went out filming the circuit to observe how bad the distance covered by the cyclists was. Just watch.
The 7th phase of the 2025 Cameroon International Cycling Tour that took place in the city of Douala Wednesday, June 11, over a distance of 106 kilometers, was cancelled same day following complaints of the bad state of the roads. Cameroonians, particularly Douala city dwellers, qualify it as first-degree embarrassment.
Je ne sais même pas pourquoi on peut organiser une pareille course dans une ville comme Douala. Il n'y a pas de route. C'est une honte.
C'était vraiment, je ne sais pas quoi qualifier. Donc c'est honteux, c'est malheureux.
Following cancellation of the Douala stage, Equinoxe TV and Radio thought and keenly observed the state of the 106-kilometer road covered by the cyclists from Africa and Europe. The different road stretches served as death trap to the visiting cyclists with no mastery of the risky road networks in the economic capital of Cameroon. What we saw with naked eyes and the camera lens were craters along the covered distance, some areas bumpy and rugged like Asar de Fête d'Aqua, the stretch between Hotel Joga Palace and Carrefour Université Saint-Jérôme de Douala. Before Marché de Fleur is found a speed bump on which the cyclist rode over. From Carrefour Marché de Fleur to Kamwata, this stretch extremely rough and valley-like. Areas where deep craters were found, some engineers were employed to fill them up with gravel and cement Tuesday night, few hours to the cycling tour.
Les faux travaux n'ont pas réussi. Vous-même pouvez voir ça à l'œil nu. On ne sait pas si vraiment ceux-là même qui ont fait ce travail-là, s'ils sont vraiment des Camerounais.
The cyclists rode over the gravels, notably at the St. Peter and Paul Cathedral, Mbapelepe Stadium, Sandaga Market roundabout towards Rond-Point Daido, Boulangerie Meno towards Ferrous Bisenge, where the passage narrowed because of its cratered and rugged state. Ferrous to Total Besenge was another area where the poor night works were done with the gravels, serving as risk to cyclists.
Si vous savez, le gravel, c'est un truc qui est glissant avec le vélo. Peut-être un cycliste, peut-être qu'en accélérant, il peut peut-être, surtout sur un gravier, il peut glisser sur un gravier et il tombe comme ça là.
C'est une honte pour le Cameroun.
It is disgraceful for a big country like Cameroon to organize a cycling tour and a phase is cancelled because of bad roads.
Je n'ai pas encore vu un endroit à Douala qui n'y ait pas de nid de poule.
Cancellation of the 7th phase of the Cameroon International Cycling Tour due to bad roads in the city of Douala is thus an alarm for authorities to wake up from slumber and serve Cameroon in good faith.
Now in news out of Cameroon, rescuers are still in search of more bodies in the Air India disasters that occurred yesterday. At the moment, only one passenger survived with over 240 people reported dead. While in Kenya, hundreds of protesters, especially youths, have stormed the streets of Nairobi following the death of Albert Ojwang, a 31-year-old blogger allegedly killed by the police. Our foreign patient roundup with Lucidi, who is here.
Kumar Ramesh is a sole survivor of the Air Indian plane crash that occurred while en route from Ahmedabad in India to the United Kingdom. The Air Indian flight, which had on board 230 passengers and 12 crew members, tragically crashed into a building shortly after takeoff on Thursday, resulting in 246 fatalities. Among the deceased are 241 individuals from the flight, along with 5 medical students who were present in the medical college and the hospital that the aircraft struck, as reported by hospital officials. The flight's total of 242 individuals included an 10 cabin crew, with passengers comprising of 217 adults and 13 children with 2 infants. While in Nairobi, Kenya's capital, protesters have taken to the streets to voice their outrage over the death of a blogger who was arrested by police last week. This unrest comes as the country's police watchdog revealed that 20 persons have died in custody over the past 4 months. Abe Ochwang is a 31-year-old blogger who was apprehended in the western town of Homa Bay for criticizing the deputy police. On Thursday, the Kenyan police officer was arrested in connection with the blogger's death, prompting protests in the capital where 2 vehicles were set ablaze and several demonstrators were injured. Lastly, on Wednesday, the Council of Ministers in Mali approved a new law that extends the mandate of Assimi Goïta, the current head of the transitional government, until 2030. Assimi Goïta has served as the president of the transitional government since May 28, 2021. After ascending to power in 2 military coups in 2020 and 2021, Goïta gained political support from important allies last month, positioning him to potentially remain in power indefinitely.
And now over to this advertorial. Orange Cameroon carries out humanitarian activities through its Orange Foundation. Has launched a health program to support public health establishments in areas where it operates in the 10 regions of the country. It began by donating medical equipment worth some 18 million francs CFA to the Nkwen District Hospital in Bamenda 3 and to the Naka Integrated Health Center in Bali in the Northwest region in order to grant equitable health quality healthcare services to the population, particularly to vulnerable persons. Orange Foundation first targets the Northwest region, where the Anglophone crisis has caused chaos and increased pressure on the health facilities due to mass exodus from hot zones to areas with relative stability. Innocent Aze.
Created in 2009, Orange Foundation's fidelity to its corporate social responsibility program in the different decentralized territorial collectivities where Orange Cameroon operates grows super stronger, impacting thousands of lives through its groundbreaking philanthropy in several domains of national life.
Orange Foundation has different domains of interventions. First, it will be in terms of supporting healthcare facilities. It will be in terms of supporting education, supporting digital inclusion, financial inclusion.
Health, they say, is wealth, and Orange Foundation is solidifying its solidarity pillars to enable children, women, and vulnerable persons have access to quality healthcare services.
Today we are here for our first domain of intervention, which is actually toward healthcare facilities. And today we are supporting hospitals in the Northwest region. We are supporting 2 hospitals by donating equipment.
Orange Foundation, touched by the difficulties to quality healthcare services faced by the population of this war-torn region, takes another giant step to empower district hospitals and integrated health centers with medical equipment. The Nkwen District Hospital and the Naka Integrated Health Center in Bali, experiencing increased healthcare pressure as a result of mass exodus caused by the Anglophone crisis, are the first health institutions to benefit this donation from Orange Foundation worth 18 million francs CFA.
Actually, we did an assessment with the heads of those healthcare facilities to understand what are the needs, and it's based on that we are donating those equipment.
These delegations, made up of the mayors, hospital officials, and elites, were accompanied to Orange Cameroon's head office in Douala by the representative of the Northwest Regional Delegate for Public Health.
I would say these donations of equipment are really timely because they come in at a time when our health facilities are struggling under the effect of the ongoing crisis.
He promised to ensure these medical kits from their reliable partner, Orange Foundation, is judiciously and effectively used.
We will supervise these health facilities to make sure that they utilize this equipment for the purpose for which it is intended.
Mayors of Bamenda 3 and Bali hailed Orange Foundation for this huge, faithful partnership donation to empower and improve the capacity of the Nkwen District Hospital and the Naka Integrated Health Center, Bali.
Special thanks to Orange Foundation. This kind of gesture is very laudable and important for the population of Bamenda 3 municipality, given the fact that the population has skyrocketed as a result of the crisis in the northwest region.
Naka, that is beneficiary to today's gesture, has suffered a lot in terms of, destruction of property, scaring away workers, and so on. But today's gesture has rekindled hope.
Now 16 years old, Orange Foundation has carried out several of such and related philanthropic gestures in other localities in the 10 regions of Cameroon.
Laudable indeed. And that does it for the first part of the news. Let's now move on to talking points. Our guest tonight is Ebenya Nicole. She is into creating awareness on albinism. Ebenya, thank you so much for being our guest. Today we are observing the National Albinism Day. Tell us what albinism is exactly.
Good evening, Anne, and thanks for having me. Today is June 13th, and we are celebrating the 11th edition of International Albinism Awareness Day. What then is albinism? Albinism is a genetic condition caused by the production of little or no melanin. What then is melanin? Melanin is that pigment in the skin that is responsible for giving our eyes, skin, and hair its color. So the difference between you and I is that you have melanin and I don't. And it's genetic because for a person to be born with albinism, that means that the same genetic material must be passed down from both parents. What this means is that if your father has the albinism gene and your mother doesn't have it, you will not be born with albinism, but you might be a carrier of the gene. So if two persons that share the same albinism gene come together, there is a 1 out of 4 chance with each pregnancy that the child will be born with albinism. And persons with albinism albinism affects 2 areas. We are normal persons like every other person, but we have sensitive skin and we suffer from vision impairment.
The main challenges you guys face, social hindrances as well as health challenges.
Socially, we face lots of stigmatization. First of all, albinism is not very common. You can find it in, depending on the region, 1 in 20,000 persons, in some areas 1 in 5,000 persons. And it's one of those very misunderstood conditions that people know very little about. And that has been because in the past there has been lots of misconceptions about this condition. So socially, persons with albinism tend to find it difficult to adapt or to feel included, not because of themselves or the condition per se, but because of how the general public views the condition. It's sometimes very difficult to fit in when you're already being judged before you open your mouth or before you show what your talents are. People tend to look at you like less than human or less than equal or feel pity because of the condition. Health-wise, because albinism affects the production of melanin, we have sensitive skin. And our skin being sensitive means that we are prone to developing skin cancer if we do not, protect our skin from the harmful rays of the sun. And skin cancer tends to reduce the lifespan of persons with albinism. We also suffer from vision impairments, which means that we cannot see things of very minute nature, and these sometimes or most times affect our learning ability because usually our school systems or other systems are not inclusive enough to handle our needs, our visual needs.
Thank you so much, Ebenya Nicole, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. And you have always been insisting that albinism is not a disability. Thank you again, and hope to have you some other time. Viewers, thank you so much for always being there. Don't go away, our programs continue. Equinoxe Soir today comes up at 7 p.m. and then News in the French language with Irish comes up at 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television and have a blessed weekend in the company of our programs. Bye-bye for now and see you again on Monday.